Welcome to the PreSnap podcast presented by LineStar. I'm Shannon Sommerville here with Tyler Wiemann breaking down some preseason football.
Good old NFL.
You ready for preseason week 1?
Yep. Big day coming up.
We
Big
actually
week,
will
I should
see.
say.
We'll see a lot of, I guess.
There's going to be a lot of players.
Yeah, a lot of players.
A lot of the starters are playing, except for most of the stars.
Mm-hmm.
The superstars, I should say.
So we will tell you later in the show, basically, of the teams who we're going to see on the field, whether it'll be the first team or are there stars playing in that one, or if so, how much. We'll go over that a little bit later in the show. We'll also go over injuries and the 6 score from 6score.com, the ProFootballDoc. We'll go through all of the injuries that you need to know about. Especially important as I know you guys are all getting ready for your fantasy football drafts. Mm-hmm. And we will also talk about some depth chart movement, some battles going on in camp.
I like it. Man, I'm excited.
Yeah.
It's right around the corner.
So, with that being around the corner, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment on our channel. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're keeping up with all the content we're coming out with. That could help you in your fantasy.
And with that, it's probably a good time to bring up that LineStar is raising our prices effective September 8th. It's only 28 days away.
I know. So right now you can lock it in at $19.99 per month. It does go up to $29.99. So make sure you lock it in now. Save that extra $10 a month and put it towards some daily fantasy contests. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Make some money out of it.
Also, if you haven't played best ball before on Underdog, I'm obsessed with it.
Oh boy, we got her addicted.
I'm so addicted. Even like late last night, I'm in bed at 11. I was like, do I have time to do a best ball draft if I'm laying in bed?
I actually started one as I was walking my dog last night. And then, not last night. That was the night before. While walking my dog, I did like the first couple rounds. And then sat it on the couch, finishing it up.
It's so much fun. So we'll include the link below to Underdog Sports. And if you're a new user for Underdog, you deposit at least $10. You can get your deposit matched up to $100. Use promo code LineStar. You'll also get a free 3 months of LineStar just in time for football season. Mm-hmm. So a good deal there. Use the link below. Again, promo code LineStar there. So check it out. All right, we're going to start off with some news and notes around the NFL. And this is a funny one. It came out a few hours ago, so I thought I would bring it up. So Kyle Shanahan is a little bit upset with the NFL over their hat rules. I mean, so many of you might be familiar with the 49ers head coach Shanahan, who has been seen wearing a red hat. It has like this small 49ers logo, and people were always joking about it. They dubbed it the Shanahat, and it took the world by storm back in 2019. It
was a good hat.
And they were saying that it kind of looked like it was a logo that was accidentally uploaded from Google or something.
Yeah.
That it was just, it almost looked like he made it himself type of thing. Yeah. But it's pretty funny. But so he was asked if he had plans on wearing the famous hat again this season after retiring it. It was a little disappointing 2020 season. And here's what he said. I'll just read his quote. It's a tough issue going on. They won't let me pick out my own hat. They won't let me wear anyone that's from a previous year, so I can't wear like an older one. I've got to wear the new ones that they give this year. Unfortunately, there's none I like wearing. Hopefully we can figure it out or wait until salute to service. It's just deals. I don't want to go too hard and get fined or anything, but trust me, I'm upset about it.
Sounds like it.
Sounds pissed. Was that a good voice?
You sounded pissed.
I should have.
Your voice wasn't quite manly enough for it, but
gotta lower the decibel level next time.
Yeah, but he's fired up.
He is fired up.
It does kind of suck that he can't wear whatever he wants. I mean, Belichick's over there with a hoodie with cut off sleeves and looks more like one of the homeless people. That lives on our street than a head coach. But he can't wear a hat.
Very true, but he can't wear a nice hat.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, all that stuff's so crazy. I mean, when you think about all the restrictions that are in place for cleats, for even your headphones.
So-called protection of the shield.
Yep.
Is a little out there.
Those are big-time brand deals. It's all about the money. All right, so let's get into some other notes. We'll first start with Cleveland Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson. He is expected to start in Friday's preseason opener against the Jaguars. Now, earlier this week, Roger Goodell had some pretty strong words for reporters. He said the league is seeking a season-long suspension because the quarterback's actions were egregious and predatory behavior. He looks like he's going to go a few snaps in
the NFL,
Friday's game.
Yeah, the NFL does seem to believe that they're going to be able to get this. But the PA is just on the other side of it, saying that, that's not going to happen. So it's an interesting situation. What do you think about him playing in preseason, though?
I don't know. I don't know if it's a good move for the Browns at this point to even do that. It kind of seems like read the room a little bit and maybe avoid, especially when he's going to be, suspended at least 6 games. So you got to get.
Yes. The other side of that, though, is he hasn't seen real football for a while now. He does need some reps, at least at almost full speed.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's likely out at least 6 weeks. We'll see.
It'll be interesting to see how that all goes down.
It will be. It will be. Did you see the National Masseuse Convention is in Cleveland?
My God. I did see that. I saw all the memes. Everyone on the internet had memes about that one.
It's out of control. You can't even make this stuff up.
Right? So, on another note, Rams head coach Sean McVay signed a contract extension this offseason. It's not that surprising or groundbreaking news, but he did kind of talk a little bit maybe about hanging it up.
Yeah, there's no way he's gonna hang it up. He's so young.
No.
Yeah.
New season of Hard Knocks got off to a pretty good start thanks to rookie defensive lineman Aiden Hutchinson, a rendition of Billie Jean. I'm sure you might have all seen the rounds on the internet of that rendition.
Yeah.
It was pretty good. And I loved in the video, I don't know who it was, but somebody in the second row, one of the guys
took off their shirt, right? Yeah.
Threw it in the front row, and then somebody in the front row starts waving it around.
And it's
pretty funny.
Mid fist pump or something, the guy catches it, and then just keeps going.
I mean, they were amped
was pretty
for that.
Great. Yeah.
The best part was just the reaction to it. I mean, they loved it. It was great. Dan Campbell makes for excellent television, and it makes you want to kind of play for him. Between him and Jamal Williams gave a speech in the huddle, and he was near tears, and I was like, I'm ready to run through a wall now. I need to listen to his speech before our
Jamal Williams
softball game.
Is so entertaining.
Yeah.
Have you listened to many of his press conferences? They're great.
I loved how at one point he was talking about how he was kind of like the ex-girlfriend or ex-boyfriend when he came over. Do you remember that press conference?
Yeah, that was a good one.
He is really fun.
He's entertaining.
To watch those guys.
I like
I'm
him
excited
for sure.
For this season of Hard Knocks, definitely. They've got some characters in there. Now, other news. Kareem Hunt requested a trade from the Browns. They said no.
And what's interesting about that, too, is the next day he was just at practice like nothing happened. That scenario is just weird to me. You're just like, all right.
All right, back to business. Roquan Smith, another guy. Okay, yes. So he also requested a trade. He was activated off the PUP list, but also requested a trade. Yeah. I don't think he's going anywhere either, though.
We haven't really heard much about this. I don't think the team has said anything yet. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, it's interesting. The thing is, unless he actually, holds out or something, there's no really reason for the team to trade him.
Yeah.
Unless the player is willing to sit out, I don't see why teams would trade.
So he's essentially just upset about his contract situation. Is that correct? He wants a new deal.
He wants a new deal.
They didn't get it done.
So, the contract that they are offering is bad. Mm-hmm. It would be bad for linebackers across the league. Mm-hmm. The overall value is decent, but it's heavily backloaded. Mm-hmm. And so, with NFL contracts, there's a good chance he never sees most of that money. So,
There you go.
So he wants a real deal, not kind of what they're offering him.
Okay, can't blame the guy, you know?
No. I mean, football's a tough sport. You got to get paid.
Let's get into the injury reports. And for this, we're also consulting SixScore.com. And the Pro Football Docs, Dr. Chao and his team over there have some great analysis of the football injuries that are going on and give us kind of a prognosis and what to expect. So the first one we'll take a look at is Matt Stafford's elbow injury, because I know that's gotten a lot of attention over the past week. I've seen it on just about every talk show. Everyone's talking about it and wondering if he's going to need Tommy John surgery. So Pro Football Doc says unlikely Stafford is dealing with that UCL injury. That's the one that requires Tommy John surgery. And they actually don't have any concern for his availability or effectiveness. They believe it's a medial flexor wad tendonitis, which I have no idea what that means. But the good, smart folks over at Pro Football Doc and SixScore sure do. And they give him a SixScore of 92.
Yeah, with a SixScore of 92, I really wouldn't be too worried about him. Yeah. Maybe there's a couple games that they rely on the run a little bit more just because it's bothering them or something, but all in all should be fine.
So good news for the Rams. It's not good news, okay? Especially for me as a Jets fan. Offensive tackle Mekhi Becton requires season-ending right knee surgery. Pretty devastating for the Jets. This is a kneecap injury and patella damage with a small chip-sized fracture in his previously surgically repaired right knee. Not good. And from a fantasy football perspective, bad news for basically anyone in the Jets offense. Zach Wilson, Breece Hall, Garrett Williams, Michael Carter, Elijah Moore. Those are the guys that we're looking at.
Yeah, it's going to be a little hit to the whole offensive team. However, I mean, he was a rookie. He was a high pick, but we don't really know how he would have done on the field.
We don't. Although... couldn't get really, like last year was rough for Wilson. He had the second highest sack rate in the league. So
every year is rough for the Jets.
Hey.
Sorry.
All right.
It's true though.
Yeah. And now I'm kind of rethinking their win total. You know, I think I had him, I can't remember if I said over or under their win total. I know it was getting a lot of action with the over, and I'm wondering how much that has shifted.
I think I said
since
under
that injury. Browns lose Pro Bowl wide receiver kick returner Jakeem Grant for the season, torn Achilles. Not good there.
Nope, no bueno.
Rams, Jalen Ramsey shoulder participates in 11-on-11 team drills Tuesday. Some more good news for the Rams.
Yeah, he's back. He'll be ready for the season.
Nice.
So they need him.
Some wide receiver issues in Chicago. Tyler, tell us about this.
Yeah, Byron Pringle is going to be out for a long time, possibly the whole season. And then N'Keal Harry, who they just traded for because they have wide receiver issues, got hurt and also has no timetable to return right now. So they are very much hurting.
So some bad breaks for the Bears between them and Roquan Smith wants out.
So it's totally a, what is it, Daryl Morey. He's a GM of the 76ers. Mooney. Mooney and Kmet is pretty much their receiving game right now.
Yeah.
So it's going to be interesting to see what Fields can do.
Given that, maybe we'll run him a little more. Maybe his fantasy value goes up. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
down. Who knows?
The Bears just seem like a mess right now with injuries and Smith wanting to trade. It might be a tough year.
So SixScore.com came out with an article that was 7 offensive players who will have slow burn season. And by that, they mean players who will be unavailable or limited when the season kicks off the second weekend of September, but will gradually improve as we get deeper into the season. This is especially interesting in terms of if you're playing a best ball, I think, because when you're getting into the playoffs of best ball, you know, maybe some guys that you might want to keep on your
especially
your team.
If they're going a little later in the draft.
Yeah. So one of those is Jameis Winston, who suffered an ACL MCL tear. Pro Football Doc says initially could suffer limited mobility. I believe, does he have an ankle injury now?
Yeah, so he hurt his ankle. I think it was last week. He did sit out majority of this week, but they're saying he should be totally fine. He's not going to play in preseason game 1, but once season comes around, he'll be good.
Next up, Bobby Trees. The Titans wide receiver Robert Woods tore his ACL early November. Pro Football Docs believe Woods is actually primed to have a really solid second half of the season. Someone to keep an eye on for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I like Woods. They do have
you've been high on him.
But yeah, the thing is that he was almost a wide receiver 1, a couple years ago. Got hurt last year. So if he's healthy, he has a path to the targets.
Another wide receiver to keep an eye on for maybe a slow start, but will come on strong is Chris Godwin, torn ACL week 13. But, I mean, we know what he's capable of. We don't really need to go too deep into that one, especially.
And Woods and Godwin are both practicing, so.
Okay.
Woods is, I think, a little bit ahead of Godwin, though.
The Jaguars running back situation, James Robinson, who had an Achilles injury, and Travis Etienne, Lisfranc injury. Now, both are not on the PUP. Etienne making his NFL debut week 1. Should be the first to return to that pre-injury form. Robinson, Pro Football Doc is saying he will likely still be limited because of his Achilles rupture, which was late December. So he might be a little behind. But Travis Etienne is a guy that I see on a lot of various websites in terms of
a lot of people are high on him.
Players.
Yeah, a lot of people are high on him. And Robinson, like we saw from Cam Akers, Cam Akers had a similar timeline as far as coming back. Came back at the end of last year, and he didn't have that burst. And Robinson probably won't have that this year either.
So some more running backs we're keeping an eye on is that Ravens duo, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, both aiming to play week 1, but according to Pro Football Doc, neither will be effective until the second half of the season. Now, Dobbins is off the PUP. Gus Edwards, a long shot, right, for week 1. I can't remember. I believe Dobbins is 6 scores lower.
Yes, Dobbins 6 scores lower than Edwards. But it looks like Dobbins is ahead.
Dobbins will be ahead in terms of week 1.
From what Dobbins himself is saying he's back and he's healthy and he's good to go.
Is that just manifestation? We'll see, I guess.
We'll see. I mean, it's hard to really know. Like Could be Pro Football Doc is great at what he does.
Yeah.
But he's not there on the day-to-day to actually see everything.
Yeah.
He gets to see through, little clips and videos here and there.
On Twitter,
so he could totally miss things.
All right, so that's a look at some injuries that we are keeping an eye on throughout training camp and preseason. So now we're going to get into a preseason week 1 preview where we're going to go over kind of basically who we're going to see this week.
Yeah, and just some of the news that's out there if you are playing DFS, you can run with it.
There you go.
People do say there is a very large edge in preseason DFS.
Really?
Yes, just because it's a lot of casual people that aren't really like searching news. They'll go play their starters or whatever, and the starter plays 2 snaps and is done. And so if you really want to take the time and search all the news out, there is some edge there.
Okay. Well, the Browns are going to play most of their starters preseason week 1. And as we alluded to, Deshaun Watson is scheduled to start. Now, Cardinals starters won't play preseason week 1. You want to go over some of the players that we will see, what we won't see?
Yeah, so it looks like Trace McSorley is going to start for week 1 at quarterback. And the guys we will not see is Kyler, D-Hop, James Conner, Hollywood Brown, Rondell Moore, A.J. Green, J.J. Watt, and Rodney Hudson. So pretty much all of their stars are out. The rest of the starters should be playing.
And for the Colts, Matt Ryan, we're going to see him, correct?
Yeah, we'll probably see him a series or 2 up to first quarter or so. Cowboys looks like they're sitting all of their starters week 1.
Now, Bengals, most main starters will not play.
Yeah, as we know, Burrow's still dealing with his surgery recovery, so he's obviously out. Mm-hmm. Again, most of the stars on most of these teams aren't going to play.
And if they do, they'll probably play like 1 or 2.
1 to 2 series like your Jets.
Yeah, Zach Wilson, just 1 to 2 series for him now. The Panthers situation has kind of turned into a little battle, supposedly.
They're still saying it's a battle. I don't think it's much of a battle. Mm-hmm. They're going to end up playing this out probably till week 3, though. But Mayfield and Darnold are both expected to play. Because it is a so-called battle, I could see both these guys playing a little bit.
Okay. Eagles starters, most of them are playing at least a little bit?
Yeah. They're Eagle starters playing 1 to 2 series. That's pretty normal for most teams.
And Jaguar starters in a similar situation.
Yep.
Seahawks, Geno Smith will start preseason week 1. Look at that.
There's another spot where the quarterbacks could play a little bit longer just due to the competition.
49ers first team offense. We're going to see that.
So the one thing that I really think is really weird is that they're saying Trey Lance is going to play week 1 and week 3 of preseason. So I'm guessing they're going to sit him week 2, but with it being his first start, I don't really, or his first season starting, I don't understand that. But again, the first team guys, the stars, I would only expect 1 to 2 offensive series. Everybody else, maybe a quarter or 2.
Giant starters will play less than a half, and Lions aiming for
about a quarter or so, yeah. For the Packers, Aaron Rodgers is out. Jordan Love is going to start preseason week 1. And then Derrick Henry for the Titans will be out preseason. As far as the rest of the Titans, I haven't really heard too much yet.
And Carson Wentz, we will see him preseason week 1 as well. We're going to get into our depth chart watch now and take a look at some of the battles that are occurring in camps and we'll probably see play out throughout this preseason. And we'll start with the Panthers quarterback situation that we kind of talked about. I mean, you mentioned you don't think this is really a battle at all, that this is just
Baker's just clearly the better quarterback. They traded for him this season. I know they traded for Darnold last year, but they saw what they have in Darnold. It's Baker's job to lose. He has to screw up to lose this job.
Another interesting quarterback battle is in Seattle, where Geno Smith is said to be
This is surprising to me. I for sure thought it was going to be Drew Lock.
But apparently Geno Smith has been doing some good things.
And he showed a little bit of promise last year. That offense as a whole, though, is going to have problems.
Yes, it's a different era now with Russell Wilson out of there.
Yeah.
Steelers quarterback situation, also an interesting one here. Now, we got Trubisky and Pickett. Now, the reviews out of camp have not really been great for either quarterback.
Yeah.
Who do you think it'll be?
I think it's got to be Trubisky, at least for the first half of the season. With Pickett being so young, there's no reason to push him into it.
Yeah. So the Bills have a battle at slot receiver after wide receiver Cole Beasley was released. Isaiah McKenzie emerged as the leading candidate to take that spot. Now, free agent Jamison Crowder is dealing with a lower extremity issue, so that's kind of leaving him behind in the battle. Anything that you expect to see shake out over the course of the preseason?
McKenzie is getting all the love right now, but I still expect it to end up being Crowder.
Okay.
If McKenzie gets it, I would love it because I do like his upside. He's a nice little speedy receiver, but we'll see. From what we saw last year with Cole Beasley, that number 3 spot is valuable. So it absolutely is worth something to pay attention to.
Definitely. Especially with that quarterback.
Yeah.
They got there in Buffalo. Dolphins running back situation. We kind of know from a fantasy perspective that this is kind of a crapshoot in terms of there being a very crowded backfield and, just not enough to go around to everybody.
And not much news coming out about it, which is worrisome too.
Yeah. So Chase Edmonds, Raheem Mostert, Sony Michel, Myles Gaskin,
Mm-hmm.
Salvin Ahmed, and Zaquandre White all fighting for a roster spot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I've heard it's in that order right now.
Yeah, I have heard also that maybe Mostert could be one, but he is still hurt or just getting back from being hurt, so it could just be, them doing that, expecting him to be number one down the line. But I would say week one, it's probably Edmonds.
Texans running back, former Colt Marlon Mack, flashing some glimpses of his old self. Fourth rounder Dameon Pierce. Supposedly, among the beat reporters, they say he's been the most dynamic. However, Rex Burkhead's been the most consistent.
Which is no surprise. I mean, Burkhead, that's kind of what he's always done. He can do a little bit of everything. Pierce, like you said, fourth round pick. They just put some assets toward him. And Marlon Mack, I mean, it's Marlon Mack. He's had a couple okay seasons, but
yeah,
I doubt they rely on Marlon Mack. They did just pay Burkhead a little bit and obviously use draft capital.
And in terms of the Chiefs running back situation,
this situation is really interesting.
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, RB1. Ronald Jones has been RB2 in camp. Now, the Chiefs are giving long looks to Jerick McKinnon, Derek Gore, and Isaiah Pacheco.
I think there's a good chance Ronald Jones gets cut.
Really?
He is bad in pass protection, and you can't have him on the field with Mahomes. And when he's on the field, he's going to be running because they're not going to be putting him in pass protection.
And we talked about Pacheco last week.
Yeah, and it's every couple days I'm hearing more and more of a drum roll for him as far as they really like him. His pass protection has been really good as a rookie. I would not be surprised if he gets some meaningful snaps. Probably not to start the season, but maybe kind of later in the season.
This is some interesting stuff to keep an eye on.
Dynasty-wise, I would absolutely be trying to grab Pacheco.
All right. So some interesting battles there going on throughout NFL camps, and preseason will be fun to watch all that kind of shake out. And I'm sure even sometimes these battles kind of linger and kind of take care of themselves over the course of the first few actual regular season games. So it'll be fun to keep an eye on that. So that's a look at this weekend. Well, finally a lot of games.
Yep, a quick
to watch
one
this weekend.
Yep.
And we got Hard Knocks back. It's starting to really feel like football season. And
starting next week, we're really going to get some valuable information. Right now, it's pretty much hearsay. So.
Yeah, especially since with a lot of these camps, and I've covered a bunch of camps before, and they're very you can't shoot video of this play or that play, and this part's close to practice, and we're going to be on the far field so no one can see. So they keep it pretty.
And as they should, it's like why would you just give the secrets out when nothing matters? So
come on, give the secrets out to the reporters.
I would
give
love
them some love.
Just give it to us, nobody else.
All right, and if you haven't already, I mentioned Best Ball before that I really like. It's a lot of fun. The link below. Underdogs. You could win $2 million. First place is $2 million. There's a lot of money on the line. It's also just really fun. And you can try that out. New users who deposit at least $10 can get up to $100 match. Use promo code LineStar for that. And you'll also get a free 3-month subscription to LineStar, which will just help you crush your daily fantasy for this upcoming season. Remember, lock in your LineStar subscription regardless. And right now, just $19.99. That price will go up for football season to $29.99 per month. So lock it in right now and save yourself a little bit of money. And we'll include all the links below so you can click there. So that's going to do it for our pre-snap podcast show for today. We covered a lot of ground. If you have any questions, drop it in the comments and we will get back to you. And, justice for Kyle Shanahan's hat.
For the Shanahat?
The Shanahat. All right, guys. Take it easy. We will see you next week on the PreSnap podcast.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.